At a Senate Intelligence Committee confirmation hearing for Joshua Simmons, nominee for General Counsel of the Central Intelligence Agency, Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado raised questions about presidential authority to use military force against drug trafficking.
Is your understanding in front of this committee of the limits on the president's authority to use military force to combat criminal activity like drug trafficking?
Thank you, Senator. I mentioned previously the notice under Section 1230, which stated that it was an exercise of the President's Article 2 authority in self-defense and defense of others against ongoing attacks by designated terrorists.
Is that the advice that you gave to the Secretary of State on this subject?
Senator, these were military strikes conducted by the Department of War. And as I said, the General Counsel of that department.
Is it correct that you didn't have any discussion about this at the State Department?
Senator, as I said, I'm not in a position to. I don't know all of the discussions that may or may not have taken place.
Is it correct that you did not participate in any discussions about this while you were at the State Department?
Senator, as I said, I'm not in a position to discuss any legal advice that I may or may not have provided.
Do you agree that the CIA doesn't have any authority to conduct operations within U.S. borders to counter drug cartels?
Thank you, Senator. I agree that there are significant limitations enshrined in the law with respect to any domestic activities by the CIA.
Do you agree that designating or labeling an organization as a quote-unquote terrorist organization is not in itself a sufficient basis to justify the use of force against that organization?
Thanks for your question, Senator. I mentioned previously the designation, the FTO designation as a foreign terrorist organization, and that assessment, in addition to the point I discussed about requiring a foreign organization, requires that there be terrorist activity and threats against the United States. That FTO designation has a separate legal purpose in the sense that it relates to sanctions when there's material support. It's a separate legal category than a lawful use of force, but the assessment includes one about threats to United States national security.
For more congressional news, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.